Um, so this is very exciting. As you all know, we're launching the first ever Global Kinship Care Week in October, the 7th to the 13th of October. And everybody on the call today is actively involved in that campaign and will be running national level events, which is great. And Lily's joining us today to share on the participation pack that she's developed, which obviously has a lot of key elements around the social media campaign that family will be running at the global level, but also other resources to support you within your national level events as well. Lily, shall I hand over to you?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Sorry, we're just quickly sorting out one thing just to make sure that I do not get kicked out of the meeting.
I'm hoping no. So I'm going to go. And if anything, let me know and I'll bring you back, okay?
Okay. Estefa's going to leave for a minute.
So Lily is host and Gemma is co-host. Okay?
Okay.
All right. See you, everyone. Bye-bye. Hopefully everybody stays there.
Thanks,
Bye.
Estefa. Thanks.
Perfect.
We're all still here.
I just
See you.
make sure, get kicked off. So hi, everyone who's here. I also just wanted to quickly introduce myself because I'm not sure I've met everybody, but I'm Lily. I'm the communications officer at Family for Every Child. I'm just going to shut that door for 1 minute. I'm based in New Zealand, so on the other side of the world at the moment. And basically, anytime you see family talking on social media or you receive emails from us that are aimed at our supporters, that's me talking. So any questions, always reach out. And I'm sure some of you would have encountered me in the Blue Umbrella Day workshops or other workshops that we've run to do with social media. So basically what I'll do today is we've created a campaign participation pack for the Kinship Care campaign, the Global Kinship Care Week, and I'll just share my screen and run you through everything that is in there. And then there'll be some room for questions for this campaign that we're all kicking off together. So unless there are any questions at this point, I will go ahead.
I was just going to welcome Kibathi because I can see that they've joined. And I think Raju is hoping to join in a minute too, but he's joining now.
I would find the right screen. 1 second. Perfect. And we are already, Estefa already started recording, didn't she?
Yes, I was also just checking because I know lots of members are asking to have that recorded. So yes.
Perfect. So those of you that have been part of the Blue Umbrella Day campaign or that were part of the statelessness campaign that we recently launched, you'd be pretty familiar with this process. And everything that I share today, we will obviously send you via email, so you've got it accessible. So this participation pack will be sent your way, and it will hopefully give you everything you need to be part of the Global Kinship Care Week from a supporter, from a communications perspective. So that's for social media and for everything else. So first and foremost, just about the pack and about Kinship Care Week. You've all been part of bringing this campaign together, so I'm sure you're aware of what it entails. But the first ever Kinship Care Week aims to raise awareness about the importance of kinship care, which everybody at Family obviously is very aware of. The purpose of the campaign is to call for more support and recognition of kinship care in order for it to work more effectively. And Family for Every Child have developed it with our local members. And we want to call for change nationally as well as globally. So I guess the whole idea, mostly in why it's so groundbreaking, is that we're taking Kinship Care Week to a global stage. Some of the key campaign dates, hoping that all of you have an idea about this already, but the campaign will run for the first time in the week beginning Monday, 7th of October. So that is what, 2 weeks from now? Gemma, is that right? 2 weeks from now. It'll kick off Monday, 7th of October, and it'll close on Sunday, 13th of October. And the idea is that we will all rally collectively to really put the spotlight on kinship care on a global scale, leveraging Families Global Kinship Care guidance and all the research that we've collectively produced around it, and then kind of using this campaign as a launch pad to also continue the conversation. So the assets that we'll share with you for this campaign will aim to really, go big and go bold for the Kinship Care Week, but also feel free to keep using those assets and this imagery down the track to keep the conversation going. So we've created a campaign brand for Kinship Care Week, Global Kinship Care Week, and it's all based around the Kinship Care guidance paper and the creative that's been created by the designers for that. So it's got a pretty strong identity, and everything that we are using for the communications we'll share with you as well. So you'll be able to use the logo and things like that. So everything you need for the campaign is in this folder here. It's a Google Drive folder, and I'll run you through the different aspects of it. But when you share this with your communications person or whoever is talking about this campaign for your organization, this will be the one link that you need. And then just a note that we're currently working on the Spanish and the Portuguese translations. So they'll be coming by the end of this week, just in the process of getting everything translated. We have a campaign logo that is available in a Google Drive folder here. You can download this, use it on your own assets, use it in reports that you're writing, everything available in there. We have the campaign key messages, which I believe were developed by all the participating members in collaboration. But again, if you need a rundown of all the key messages of the campaign, or you need some, anything that's forming the backbone of our communications about Global Kinship Care Week is available in this document for you to refer back to. When it comes to social media communications, we have done a lot of the groundwork for you already. Everything has been prepared, and it is linked in this document here. So if you were part of Blue Umbrella Day in the past, you'd probably be pretty familiar with the structure. We've got a reminder of all the dates, some of the key links to landing pages that are associated with this campaign, and then a whole lot of sample copy, as well as links to social media assets that you can copy and paste and use on your channels. I encourage you to have a look through this. It goes from the start of the campaign, where we do, a warm-up post telling people to save the date, through to countdown posts, through to the launch day, and then a whole lot of communications around kinship care and what it means and what is outlined in our guidance. In saying that, we've created this for you to make it easier for you to communicate this campaign. If you already know what you want to talk about in relation to Global Kinship Care Week in your own context, or you've got, content that you've prepared, you don't need to feel like you can only work with this. This is solely there for you to make it, to make your job easier, is what I'm trying to say. So feel free to use it. Feel free to amend the key messages. Feel free to refer back to the key messages document to write your own messages. It is kind of up to you how you want to use the key messages. We're just trying to make it easier for you. In terms of social media assets, we, again, have created a whole lot of assets that look aligned with the kinship care guidance. And they're all linked in the sample social media posts as well. And they're labeled as to how they are intended to be used. So there's a lot of fact sharing around kinship care. There's a lot of explaining what kinship care is about, what different types of kinship care there are, There are some quotes from our Global Kinship Care Guidance, and it's all there for you to use if you'd like to just grab some content and run with it. If you want to, again, amend the messages to your own local context and you want to change the copy around, you want to add your own logo, there's also some campaign templates that we've created for you on Canva. If there are any questions, I can stop right here because some people might not be familiar with Canva. Or in general, I realize I've talking a lot. So if there are any questions at this point, I might just stop and take them. So feel free to jump in.
Thank you.
I
Blessing?
Oh yes, yeah. Maybe I just wanted to note that pre this week, the Kinship Care Week, I think we're also going to be having some webinars that are also going to be taking like the key messages that will be shared on the Kinship Care Week will also be shared in the pre Kinship Care week.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. Emma, you go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say thanks for flagging that, Blessing. So we're having a webinar on Wednesday, the 3rd of October. Say that, doubting myself that it's the 2nd, but which will be looking at, it's Wednesday, the 2nd of October, looking at what is kinship care and announcing the launch of the Global Kinship Care Week as well. So that will be an opportunity to kind of for us to help share this amongst the broader network and the broader organizations as well. And we'll also be sharing some form of this participation pack with the broader audience as well, so that other organizations, in particular those who endorse the kinship care guidance and those who are involved in the interagency drafting committee during the process of developing the guidance, can also support us by sharing these different resources amongst their own networks as well. So that's right. And then we'll have another webinar, I think, at the beginning of the Kinship Care Week to look at how to include informal kinship care in policy. And potentially there's another webinar in the lead up to the Global Kinship Care Week hosted by the Indian Alternative Care Network as well. So lots of different opportunities to kind of help promoting this week in general. So that's great. Do people have questions? I think it'd be really great if people could let us know what they think of what they've heard so far and ask any questions. And I think that going through a little bit on how to use that on Canva would probably be useful, Lily, recognizing there's lots of members who want to be part of this webinar but haven't, or this workshop, but haven't been able to join today. So I suspect that would be quite helpful. Jonathan, did you have a question?
Yeah, Gemma, I'm wondering why you mentioned my name first. I have to say something. Yeah, that's good. I'm wondering, with this pack, are we allowed to definitely design our own flyers or add up some messages to the campaign message? I'm kind of thinking that this is a comprehensive package to help with the campaign, and we think we can also look around it and have our own messages that we want to post on our social media handles and copy the necessary organizations.
Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan. And I mean, hopefully we'll have some time today as well, just to share a little bit of what some of you guys have got planned for during the week as part of the national level events for the Kinship Care campaign. But yes, recognizing that all of you are targeting slightly different audiences in your national context, then we're absolutely anticipating that you might want to adapt some of the messaging to make it more relevant for your specific issues that kinship carers are facing or kinship care families are facing, and the specific asks that feel relevant to your context. So I know some of you are targeting more kind of policymaker conversations, whereas others are much more talking to communities. So yes, that's the anticipation, is that you'll adapt it slightly depending on who your focus audience is. Yeah. And I guess that's where, if we can run through this Canva piece, I think that would be really helpful, because I think there will be needs for some adaptation. Before we do, Raju, you've got your hand up. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I became a little bit late. I was
problem.
traveling. Yeah, I mean,
Thank you for joining.
I saw the presentation. These are very nice and very, I mean, couple number of the pictures that was very nice, I think, especially for the social media campaign. And as per the, I mean, plan submitted by Voice of Children, I mean, we are planning to do the campaign in the Kinship Care campaign week. And right now it is okay. We have somehow we are familiar about the campaign like board campaign or nationality required campaign. That's why it somehow became easy for us. And if anything, we will ask to you. Other are fine. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Frederick. Yeah, absolutely. Do reach out and ask if there's anything you're needing to adapt and you're not sure or not confident about how to go about that, then please do reach out and we can support each other in the lead up to the campaign week to make sure that everybody's feeling confident and prepared. Yes. Elizabeth or Samuel?
Okay. Thank you, Jima. Well, mine is not a question, but just to express how excited we are because this thing we started long ago, and then we have reached to where we can now launch a Global Kinship Care Week. And so we look forward to October 7th, and we are in readiness to have this entire campaign going on, and then it will really open the minds of our and our teams that we have been working along with, and then they will actually appreciate what we have long been talking about. And we are wholeheartedly so glad that as we started as African brothers, we now see many persons on board. And so thank you, Jima. You have been doing so great with this whole kinship care. And today we think we have won. And so thank you so much.
Thanks,
Blessings,
Elizabeth.
Janita.
It's been a long journey, but it's been a good one. Thank you, Elizabeth. Blessing?
Gemma, yeah, thanks. Just to check, they say there's power in numbers. Do we have a
Yeah.
poster that that is logos for family organizations that are supporting this?
Good question.
Because at least if we can have one, that shows
Yeah.
that we've got so many organizations, you know, that are participating and rallying behind this.
Yeah. Lily?
What was the question? Do we have a poster? Sorry, I didn't quite get it.
Yeah, I guess, do we have some kind of something that shows all of the members who are supporting it? So maybe it's a social media tile or something like that with all of the logos of the members who are actively involved in the campaign.
We don't have that yet because the document that I was given, it was quite hard to confirm who exactly out of our members has committed to the campaign, but we can definitely make that happen happily. And there is actually a slide coming up in this participation pack, which is yet to be completed, where I'm planning on listing everybody that is committed to the campaign. So with links to their social media, and then everyone can make sure that they follow each other and that they see who is involved and how we can support each other in our communications. So completely agree. I think that would be a great thing to have, Blessing. And once I have a confirmed list of everybody that is on board, I can make that happen.
Sorry, Lily, it keeps growing.
Yeah, that's fantastic though. Like, I really appreciated the positive feedback that we're already getting as well. And I completely agree. I think just looking at, you know, the trajectory that Blue Umbrella Day has taken, I think there's like a really big chance here to launch it this year, but we're bearing in mind that over the years we'll be able to just keep growing it further and further. So yeah, very exciting. There's one more question.
Elizabeth, is that a new hand raised?
Yeah, no, this is Samuel.
Hi, Samuel.
Yes, good morning to all. It's a question in regards to the celebration week. During the celebration of the Blue Umbrella Day week, we usually post on the change makeup platforms activities being carried out. So are we to do similar with this celebration? As members, as you are carrying out activities to post on the change makeup platform.
Yeah, Lily, I don't know if you've got a sense of that, because I know you've been more involved in the Bud campaign, but my sense would be yes, I think absolutely, both through the Changemakers platform, but also through our different social media channels. And I think that this is something Lily's touching on as well. We're going to have different hashtags that we can use. So if we use those when you post about the different activities that you've been doing on your social media platforms, we can then link to it, and we can also support each other by resharing each other's content as well. But I think that's something Lily will cover in the next part of the presentation. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll touch on that. I also do think that in terms of the Changemakers space dedicated to this campaign will be the Kinship Care community of practice. So I know for Blue Umbrella Day, for example, in the past, we've had a specific Blue Umbrella Day website and a Blue Umbrella Day community, but for the sake of this, because we already have the Kinship Care community on Changemakers, that will be the main space for hosting conversations around this. And there'll also be a landing page on the family website. So those spaces, I think, will be the main kind of hubs.
Yeah. Hi, Zenny. Hi, Zenny, you've got your hand up. Thanks for joining so late.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening from Manila. CPT-CSA will be participating in this global campaign, but it will be post Kinship Care Week, because ours will be on October 16 to 17. Kinship Care is part of the Manila International Conference, and Blessing, thank you for joining us. My question is, could we have a list of activities during the week? Let's say who will do what from all the members will be participating this campaign this year, and maybe we can post it via social media so that we will also be updated on what's going on in other parts of the world about this campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, I can work to pull that together, Zenny. Sorry, Lily.
Just back off the back of that as well. In that regard, we can, I mean, Family for Every Child will always aim to reshare everything that we're tagged in, and I will do my best during the week as well to keep an eye on everybody's social media channels to share what everyone's doing. But that question, Zenny, serves as a perfect reminder to, during the week, anything that you're posting about Kinship Care Week, to also tag Family for Every Child, and that way we can, help everybody sing it from the rooftops. So tag family, and if we could, have that list in advance, it'd probably be quite helpful as well, Gemma.
Be really helpful. Yeah, agreed. And then also, Zenny, quickly to your point, because I know your event will be taking place the week after. I think that's fine. I think lots of members have got a slightly elongated period where they might be doing different activities. It's not all going to take place in that 1 week. So what we can always do is, given that you know that your event's taking place the following week, we can still share information about it during the Global Kinship Care Week itself. And I think that the reality is there's going to be a number of different follow-up posts in the coming months. I know that quite a few members had different activities ranging through October to December, where there was some different follow-up activities. So that's fine. That's anticipated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gemma and Lily.
Was there any more questions around what's been shared so far? Oh, Mason, yes. Hi, Mason.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So far, I've just joined in, and I just, thought that people are already sharing what they are doing in their respective countries. But if there is going to be time for that, then we'll be able to also share what we are planning to do.
I think there'll be time for that at the end, Mason. I think it'd be great if people can share a little bit about what they've got planned in their individual countries. So yeah,
great, thank
fantastic. You. So we'll come back to that. If there aren't any more questions, Lily, do you want to go into the what you were going to talk about in terms of Canva and how we can adapt the resources?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I touched on before, we have a whole host of social media posts or social media assets that we've created for you already. And we've also created a template on Canva, which is an open design software, which we use for Blue Umbrella Day as well. So a lot of you might be familiar with it already. But basically, there's a link. You can go in here, and we have all the images that we've pre-created with text that you can edit. So you can basically use this template to use the Kinship Care Week brand and click into all the different elements to change the text, to translate text, to add your own logo, to move the different elements around, to think about your own contextual key messaging and how you might talk about Kinship Care Week in your context. It does, if you haven't used Canva before, it might be worth actually just getting in touch with me directly via email, and I can maybe record a video and share it with you, or we can have a one-on-one session where I can run you through it, because I don't think there will be enough time today to run everybody through it. But basically what it is, it's just a template where you can look at all the images and you can very easily click into things, change copy around, move things around, all that kind of stuff. You can add your own logo via these tabs on the side. Yeah, I don't know, that probably doesn't give the best rundown, but you have access to this template. And if you get lost in it, or if you get confused, or you're looking for specific content that we haven't created, I would say just get in touch with me directly, and we can kind of try and either give you a rundown or just create something for you. On that note as well, all of this will be translated. What is here will be translated to Spanish and Portuguese as well. So Spanish and Portuguese speaking organizations won't need to do that themselves.
I wonder, Lily, if there's a couple of kind of like fairly standard alterations that people are likely to make, such as adding their logo, changing the text. It might be worth just having a video on some of those kind of more standardized alterations, and that way we can share that broadly. And then you're not going to be inundated with lots of different individual questions, I guess. And so it will only be if people are wanting to kind of alter them even further than that, that then just conscious of your time zone and finding meeting opportunities and things like that between now and then might be slightly challenging. So if we have a little think through about what some of those kind of standard alterations might look like, of like, maybe we have an example of adding a logo, we have an example of changing some of the kind of the big header text, and then maybe an example of adding some additional key messages to something, I suspect that might cover a lot of what people are wanting to do in terms of amendments. And then if there's something extra, then obviously please do reach out to Lily, or if you're doing it and still struggling even with the support of a video, please do reach out. But
yeah, I'm happy to do that. Also would be interested to hear who has worked with these templates before because of the Blue Umbrella Day campaign, and is familiar with it, and who isn't, and then I can make sure that we can have something standardized to kind of run people through it in the future. But that's a really great idea. I'll record some videos just to give you a rundown of how you can change things around. But first and foremost, I would also always recommend looking at what we've created already and seeing if that fits for you. And then you can go in here and change text. There's room to talk about kinship care, what it means. There's room to gives some basic statistics, and then there's room to add quotes down the bottom as well. So yeah, have a look at what there is and then see what might fit in with your context, and I can facilitate that and create some videos to help make it easier for people as well.
Does anyone have any immediate questions on this in particular? No? Okay.
Hello.
All right. Ah, yes, Jonathan.
Sure. I'm trying to find out, is there a narrative reporting submission? The contract that you shared, I saw financial reports. That's next year, January. So how are you going to get, feedback on the work that we've done? Are you giving us a template for narrative report, or we just have a call to harvest the outcomes, the results of the campaign?
Good question. I think we'll have a framework that I'll share with you separately in terms of how we're measuring impact on the campaign itself. And then in terms of the reporting on the specific grants, that will be done through the standard Family for Every Child templates. So again, those we can share with you as well closer to the time. Is that
Okay,
right?
thank you. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so that was a very brief rundown of Canva. Again, more to come on that front. We will have two kind of key landing pages to do with the campaign. One will be on the Family for Every Child website, and the other one will be the Kinship Care community in Changemakers for Children. The Family for Every Child URL is still in the making, so that will be added here. And the Changemakers community obviously already exists, but those are just two really kind of key cornerstones or key landing spots to send people to if they're looking for more information, especially when you're communicating on social media. So just some reference to that in here.
Yeah, and Felipe's, sorry, Lily, I was just going to say Felipe's confirmed on chat that the Kinship Care community will be the main space on Changemakers as well.
Yeah, perfect. So we are aware that some of you are likely planning some in-person events. You might be, you might not be. No pressure if you're not. But we did want to be able to provide you with some things that you can print off to help you promote Kinship Care Week. So the assets that we have ready for you so far is a printable pull-up banner, which is in the Google Drive. It's quite a large file because it's designed to be a large pull-up banner. So it might take a while to download, but this will be a really great asset to have if you are attending events or conferences. And there's a QR code here as well that links to the Changemakers landing page. So that's available for you should you need it. We also have some t-shirt designs that you can print on t-shirts if you want to look the part to promote the campaign. And then there is a printable version of the Kinship Care guidance summary as well. So if you are going to an event to promote Kinship Care Week, you can actually print off some of the summaries to be able to have some reference to the work that family does in that.
I was just going to support that, Lily, because as many of you will know, originally we prioritized having digital versions of both the guidance and the summary. So we've gone through the process of ensuring this is actually a specific printable designed version of the summary now, recognizing that that's a much shorter and easier document to print than the full guidance. But hopefully that will be useful in terms of them being able to distribute that at in-person events and then encourage people to access the full guidance digitally.
Cool. And then almost coming to the end here, we also have a couple more digital assets. We have a PowerPoint template that is branded with the Kinship Care Week logo and all of the illustrations. If you are doing any talks or presentations, you're more than welcome to use this. it looks actually very similar to the participation pack, but you can just use your own content and update what you're going to be talking about. And then lastly, we do encourage you to change your work email signature to Kinship Care Week during Kinship Care Week. So we've got some email signatures that you can use in your emails here as well, that you're more than welcome to download. That's pretty much it. Just a note on, we really encourage you to follow each other on social media. I think most of families members follow each other already. But the more you engage on social media these days, the more posts become seen. So just really being aware that we want to support each other in our advocacy efforts, obviously, and using social media for that is really a really great space. I did start writing down all the participating members, and then I got a bit lost in terms of who's involved at which level. So I think Gemma and I will probably go through this together and just confirm exactly who's involved. And then the participation pack will have links to everyone's social channels on there as well. So if you want to have an overview of everybody who's participating in Kinship Care Week, you'll be able to find everything here. But as a general rule, every post that you do to do with Kinship Care Week, if you could hashtag Global Kinship Care Week, as we've outlined in the documents that we've given you as well, then that makes it really easy and helpful for all of us to track the impact of the campaign as well. So keep that in mind. So yeah, this slide is yet to be completed. Sorry.
That's okay. I can add into it, and I think we'll have a final list by the end of the week, clearly.
Perfect. That's amazing.
I think we've got between 11 and 15 at the moment, members holding their own events, and then we've got slightly more who are supporting the social media campaign. So
cool. We have a question from Blessing.
Hi, thanks, Lily, for that. Maybe just to check, probably at the same person who has done this that I want to refer to. Post the Kinship Care Week, are you able to come up maybe with a small video that maybe that is 5 minutes or so, that demonstrates, what all the members have actually done during the week?
I know we've done that for Blue Umbrella Day. I think it's an amazing idea. At this point, from my personal capacity, I can't promise anything. I'm not a very good video maker, and I also work for family 3 days a week. But I think it's probably something we could look into, Gemma, to maybe outsource and see if we can gather some content from people to have those impact videos to share. It's possibly it's obviously something amazing to have, but Gemma, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll have to see how we resourced it for the BUD campaign, and then see what we can replicate for the kinship care one. I think having some kind of like legacy resource would be lovely in terms of something that we can then share as a follow-up. I think that's a really nice idea. What it can look like and things like that, I think we'll just have to, I'll look into it and see what they did for the BUD campaign and then get back to you. But I think it's a great idea.
And that leads me into as well, it would be, as always, from family's perspective, running our social media and doing the best I can, anything that members send us is like a gift for us to be able to communicate what everybody is up to. So if you are filming videos throughout your activities, if you are capturing images throughout your Kinship Care Week, anything that you're creating or planning on sharing, always please feel free to send it my way as well. My email is at the end of this participation pack, so you have my contacts. Anything that we can do to support your communications and anything we can share content-wise that you've collected or created, it is always welcome. So please share it. And if you have videos that you've collected from events, I will always try and do my best to format them in a way that makes content that we can share. So bearing in mind that capacity is always a thing, as we all know, in the not-for-profit sector, but I am doing my very best. Are there any other questions at this point?
I can see Challenging Heights is saying that they're not on here yet. No, we appreciate that, Jonathan. This isn't an up-to-date list. So there's quite a few members who are missing from it and that we need to add to it. And there's some that shouldn't be on there anymore, so that's fine. It's a slide in progress, so that's fine. I have a complete list of who all the members are who are actively involved. So
Lou. I'm just wondering if Gemma has frozen for everybody as well. And now she's disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still here. I was just wondering if it was my my connection or
Yeah, I think it was Gemma's connection, I think.
she might come back. But yeah, just to reiterate that this slide here will be completed with everybody who is confirmed to be participating, and all the different channels that members have will be hyperlinked. So you can click in there and make sure that you're following each other and that you're ready to engage with each other on social media as well. Amazing. I will just continue without Gemma, hoping that she'll come back. Are there any other questions at this point about the slide? Otherwise, I'll just continue on.
Yes. Hi, Lily. Hi, everyone. Just a quick question. I just wanted to ask if the save the date posts are going to run concurrently with the countdown posts.
With what post, sorry?
The save the date posts, are they going to run concurrently with the countdown posts?
Up to you. I'd say it depends. Yeah. The countdown posts obviously are targeted for 2-3 2-day countdowns. The way I've created these assets is just to give you something to work with. So if you just want to save a date post at a time that works for you, go ahead. Want to run with the countdown post because you feel like it would be a great way for your community, go ahead. So there's no kind of like you have to be saying this here and there. It's just to give you some ideas and have some content ready for you to make the job easier.
All right, thank you.
I think Gemma has just come back.
Gemma, sorry. My whole Zoom crashed. I don't know why. Apologies. But yes, I was saying I've got the full list, so I'll add that to Lily's slides and general records as well.
Perfect. Amazing. Any other questions at this point? No. Okay, I will continue, but feel free to stop me, raise your hand at any stage as well. Sharing the campaign. So there will be a few workshops being run, and we do obviously want to get as many organizations involved that are interested in getting involved. So if you do have organizations in your community or people that you know, we do have one simple kind of PDF one-pager that gives a rundown of the campaign as well, that you can send to people via email, that you could print off to share with people. It looks like this. Just gives an idea of what kinship care is, why it's important, and then there's some links down here to the campaign pack, to the Changemakers community, and to the guidance paper. So if you are trying to get others to join, this would be a really great thing to send to them to engage them in the Kinship Care campaign as well, and you have access to it. This is what it looks like. And that basically concludes kind of the introduction to the assets that we have for you. You obviously all have Gemma's email, I hope. And I hope most of you will have my email by now as well. But yeah, for any communications or social media support or questions, please feel free to reach out. Always get in touch with us. We're here to help to try and make this first Global Kinship Care Week the biggest and best date, and then we'll grow it from there. I have also attached some just general social media tips to the end of this slideshow. I usually go through these for Blue Umbrella Day. It gives you a rundown of kind of the state of social media today, where Facebook is at. And I don't know, how much time do we have left, Gemma? I can run through these. I also think that it might be better to use this time to actually talk about what members have planned, or how do you want to kind of use the rest of the session? Oh, we actually,
It's a good idea.
5 minutes
We've
left.
got 5 minutes. Yeah, got 5 minutes. I wonder, I don't know, I think running through the social media platforms is quite useful to kind of give people a sense of, you know, how they want to support the social media campaign. And I'm conscious that there are some members who will be predominantly supporting the social media campaign and not running national events. But I also think it would be great to have an opportunity to share. I think for the sake of this one, shall we go through the social media pieces? And then I think I might try and see if there's another opportunity where we can come together as a group and share on what we're planning to do during the week itself, and exchange on those different ideas.
Yeah.
Does that work for everybody? Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah, it's okay with us from the side.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay,
Let's do
those
it.
of you that have been part of Blue Umbrella Day workshops will have seen a lot of this, but and I don't think I'll be able to get through it in 5 minutes. But basically, the last few slides of this deck are just to kind of give you a rundown of the state of social media and what platforms are being used for. I think the key thing to remember is that social media nowadays is a full-time job. People are employing somebody to run their social media for 40 hours a week just to do that. I know that none of us probably have the time to do that. So it's really important to actually look at where your organization has the biggest following, where are you active already, and then churn your resources into that channel rather than trying to spread yourself across a number of channels just because they exist. To give you a bit of an idea of where it's all at, so Facebook continues to have the most users worldwide. It's geared at video content, and it's really great for sharing links and creating events. It is also really still the most used paid social media marketing platform. So if you want to amplify an event listing by using some of your budget to promote it, Facebook is a great place for that. X is former Twitter. It's really useful for continuous ongoing conversation, especially in sectors between professionals. So if you're on there and you're used to using it, by all means, go ahead. Overall engagement on X is actually dropping on a global scale. So if you're not on there already as an organization, I would say don't bother. Instagram, I think most people here on Instagram, it still continues to grow. The key thing to remember is that it's really visual and video is favored. So most video posts will perform better than static images on social media, on Instagram. But it's also carousel posts. So the posts where you kind of like swipe through a number of images, they are actually gaining more engagement these days. So if you can post more than one image at a time in your social media posts on Instagram, then it's a great idea. And it's also a great tool for daily updates through the Instagram story feature and tagging each other. So, and that's where the slide with the participating organizations will be really useful, because you'll be able to see who on Instagram is part of this campaign, and you can follow and tag each other to engage with each other on there. I'm sure everybody here is part of the family WhatsApp group chat. Throughout Blue Umbrella Day week, that's usually going off with Blue Umbrella Day content. So if you're on there and you're collecting images or videos of the events that you're doing, share them on WhatsApp so we can all see them. It's a really great way to communicate. And then LinkedIn is the last social media platform that actually continues to grow, that still works really well with just images. So most other platforms mostly use videos or will favor video, but LinkedIn continues to grow and is, especially for family and for the Family Alliance, a really great space to grow impact with the campaigns that we're doing, because a lot of it obviously is geared towards policy changing, talking to governments, talking to the UN, engaging other organizations, and sharing our knowledge on there. So especially in this first year of the Global Kinship Care campaign, LinkedIn will be a really great tool to raise awareness within the sector and to bring more and more people on board and engage other organizations to join us. So would really encourage everybody to engage on LinkedIn if you can, and to be in conversation with each other. It's a really great way to actually be in conversation about research and kind of more sophisticated content, rather than just trying to kind of like bring people in with marketing type pitches, if that makes sense. And then I've got just a slide for each of the platforms to go a little bit more in depth and have a few key tips. Facebook, just make sure you tag each other. It's all about engaging with each other. So if you can keep an eye on what everyone else is posting, follow the Kinship Care Week, Global Kinship Care Week, and support Kinship Care hashtag. And the more somebody likes or comments on a post, the more it's seen. So if you have some time, actually checking out all the other organizations and engaging with their content will make this campaign a lot more successful. There's also an interesting fact: if you mark your location, so not your exact location, but marking your country in a post on Facebook, will mean that it gets more engagement in general in your kind of local community. So especially for things that you're doing in your local context, that can be really valuable. X, Twitter, if you're on there, it's relevant. If not, don't worry. But if you're on there, it's really great tool for having really ongoing discussions and commentary around what's happening in the kinship care space. And again, it really relies on engaging with each other. Instagram is a really great space because it's so visual. It's a really great space to grow a campaign's brand identity. The Kinship Care Guidance and the Kinship Care Week have obviously a very clear brand identity. So using the images that we've provided for you will be really valuable for growing awareness. Make sure that you tag each other and you follow each other to see what each other is up to. And the more people you tag in your post or your story, the more engagement it will get. So even if you just tag a few of the other participating organizations in the post that you do, it'll make sure that it gets more engagement, or it'll ideally trick the algorithm in getting you more engagement. And yeah, engage with each other. And one key thing as well is if you can put a link to one of the Kinship Care Week landing pages into your bio, which is the little description of your organization at the top of your Instagram page, then you can direct people there in your posts. If you've got any questions around that as well, I can give you some tips or tricks on email or at another time as well. So anything that's unclear, feel free to ask me questions after this meeting as well. I'm aware we're running out of time, so apologies. There is some tips, kind of visual tips around how to up engagement on Instagram, and then a really basic rundown of what LinkedIn is used for nowadays, which I just went through as well and touched on. And that's basically it. So just a really brief little intro, and probably for some of you just a reminder of kind of what social media is doing nowadays and how platforms are being used. Aware that some people might have to rush off because they probably have busy working days, but if there are questions, I'm happy to stay on and answer some more, or Gemma, yeah, if there's anything else that we can cover, the floor is open.
Thanks, Lily. First of all, Lily, thank you so much. I think this looks fantastic. So I really appreciate all the work that you've done on it, and echoing the likes of Elizabeth and things like that. I think it's very exciting. So that's fantastic. I put my correct email address in the chat because that's actually not my email address. But to be
Sorry.
honest, I'm in touch with everybody here, so that's fine. If you
It's not
don't
good
know
to
how to email me by now, that's okay. But yeah, was there any burning questions from people before we end this workshop? And I would really like to find an opportunity for us all to come together and share about the work that we've got planned in the upcoming October week, but also the following months, because I think that would be a really useful thing and really exciting plan to share with one another. So was there any questions for Lily on all of the many resources that she's shared with us and top tips for the social media campaign and things like that? Anybody?
I can stop
No.
sharing my screen.
No.
Thanks, Lily. Thanks, Lily. Thanks, Lily, for the information. I think we really grabbed quite a lot from the discussion, and for some of us who have been part of the party campaign, we have been it's a good summary and it's a good rundown, and also an opportunity for us to also recorrect some of the challenges and gaps that we've also been facing during the social media usage. But I think this is very good, and we hope that we'll be able also to maneuver not only about Kinship Care but also other programs. You can actually do make a lot out of this type of workshop. In terms of putting it within the context of other programs that we also run as an organization. So I thank you very much for giving us this opportunity again.
Amazing, thank you for coming along.
Yeah, Lily, thank you. I think if there is any question, we will send you an email or WhatsApp. Yeah.
Perfect.
So for now, it's the presentation is okay for me. Thank you once more.
Thanks, Jonathan. Raju, did you have a question?
No, it's okay. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. And then after this, I'll share the recording for the workshop and also the link to the participation pack. And that way, once you've all had an opportunity to engage with so much of the content on there, if there are questions that come up afterwards, then please do reach out to us all. Okay, if there's no more questions, thank you all for making the time to come, and thank you for staying as we ran over. And thank you for inputting and engaging with this campaign. I think it's exciting. So
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lily.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lily and Chima.
Everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.